Welcome to Hardback Life.
It's time for stories, sass, and strong opinions. Let's turn the page.
Hi guys, it's Jess Cassie this week. I had a super busy week at work last week. Becca turned 30 last week, so we just could not get our schedules to align. The normal day we record was her birthday, so obviously we weren't going to record then, but like really no other day kind of fit for both of us. So we didn't want to leave you hanging for the week, of course. So I'm popping on to do a quick one. But before we get to that, how's everybody doing? I don't really have, other than like it was really busy at work last week, I don't really have a ton of updates at the moment. I hope everybody watched our last week's episode with James Steyer. It was so good. I am still thinking about it. I loved it. I loved him. I loved it. It was good. I'm currently reading an arc right now by Rachel Housel Hall. No One Knows You're Here. That's currently my read. I don't have an audiobook. Everything's just on hold at Libby. Like I can't get a single audiobook that I'm interested in right now. And again, my audiobooks are nonfiction, so I am just being like annoying and waiting for that. Part of me thinks I should try ACOTAR because I want to reread them anyway. Should I try them audio? I don't know. I did start the graphic audio at one point last year before I've like gotten into audiobooks, and I just thought it was so dumb. Like I know Becca really swears by them. I was like, this is so stupid. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have to try it again now that I'm like here for them. But yeah, it's kind of the only updates I got for you. We have the book fair at the end of the summer, so we're really excited about that. And we're going to try to do a couple things over the summer, probably with Odd Birds we talked to Jess about. Yeah, I don't know. I'll wait till Becca's here to like talk about all that stuff. There's nothing set in stone other than August 8th is the Bel Air Book Fair, and we're super excited about it. I will see Becca next week, so that's exciting. We're going to go visit Sarah. But other than that, like I really don't have any exciting news. Becca turned 30. That is exciting for her. I'm 32. So, the 30 excitement has worn off for me, but she's very excited and I love that. So just kind of jumping into today's episode, I wanted to do, like I said, we didn't want to leave you hanging. Like we've been really trying to be consistent with getting episodes out once a week. It's going really well. Like this week kind of just fell through the cracks, but I'm doing I've done this before, but an episode where I take my 5-star or close to 5-star, high rated, well, most of these are 5-star, high rated books, and we read some 1-star reviews. And they're kind of heartbreaking. I haven't read any yet. Like I didn't read any ahead of time, which I remember thinking last time maybe I should just because of how long it took to find ones to read out loud. But then you don't get my genuine reaction. I think that's kind of the funniest part. If it's funny at all, I don't know. You tell me, guys. There were a couple as I was looking through my list that I refused to do. And as I was saying, like thinking about them, I noticed most of them were like, they were nonfiction. So Jane Goodall's Book of Hope, like I'm not going to review that one. I can't imagine anybody giving it 1 star, but if they did, like I don't want to hear about it. It was such a good book and I just love Jane Goodall. Another one I was going to put on list and I was like, no, I don't want to hear anybody's opinions about her. Jeanette McCurdy's I'm Glad My Mother Died. I'm Glad My Mom Is Dead. I forget the exact wording, but I didn't want to hear like that's her personal story. I don't know. So as I'm saying them again, I think they were mostly nonfiction and I just don't want to hear people's opinions on other people, which I think would be what most of those were about instead of on the writing itself. You know what I mean? So those were ones I wasn't going to touch. I think in the last one I did a Court of Mist and Fury because part of me is like, I don't want to do books I really like. But no, that's like the funnest ones. No, I think like just a rule of thumb, I'm not going to do like biographies or autobiographies because I just don't, or memoirs. Like I just don't think those are for us to, I don't know. I don't want to talk about the person. You know what I mean? I want to talk about the writing. And I think that might get lost depending on the reviewer. So those are they were examples of ones like I wouldn't do. But starting off, I read this one as an arc, 5 out of 5 stars. I couldn't put it down. It's called Nobody Knows You're Here by Bryn Greenwood. It is a psychological thriller. I loved it. It's very different from other thrillers, which was kind of my favorite part. I was in now it's funny because I'm only reading thrillers again at the moment, but I had just read so many thrillers. So I was kind of over like the normal storyline to them. And this one like really effed shit up with that. Like it was so good. It was so good. You got to read it. So I'm reading these 1 stars, but like listen to my review. My review is the correct review. Everybody's allowed their opinions. I don't want to read these and then people not read these books because trust me, I picked these books because I love them so much. Well, there's one on here and we'll talk about it. But like this one I loved so much. So I think it would be interesting to see 1 stars because I just can't fathom writing a 1 star about them. So don't listen to these that I'm going to read you Go on my Goodreads and look what I wrote about it and go by that, okay? So here we go. Nobody Knows You're Here by Bryn Greenwood. This one's long, but it has like a little opener we can read. And again, I don't say who it's by. Like, I never put names out there. I know it's a public website, but I don't know. I feel weird about it. So here we go. I didn't think it was possible to make a psychological suspense thriller so boring and repetitive, but Greenwood sure proved me wrong with this one. There was also a level of stupidity to the entire plot that made the reading experience even more unenjoyable. I disagree. Like, a lot with that. I think some people see this situation as like that victim is, why isn't this victim doing more? Why aren't they leaving? Blah, blah, blah. But like, you can't think like that. Like, they're afraid, they're afraid of what's going to happen if they leave, without giving too much away. Yeah, I don't agree with that. I'm going to read the next paragraph. It is like a little synopsis of it. I don't want to give too much away though. So it says, the beginning premise hooked me in. Agreed. Our protagonist, Beatrice, gets kidnapped and suddenly finds herself being forced to serve as a nanny. I'm pretty sure it was I think it was called governess in the book, because she was also teaching them, for several of the child hostages that the criminal network has also taken. There's a lot of intrigue and suspense at the start, but then the plot goes nowhere. Everything drags, and there wasn't even really a good twist to bring it all together. The majority of the book is just Beatrice taking care of the children and having a weird Stockholm Syndrome romance. Okay, the romance was a little odd, but I got it. But no, you also get the kids' stories. You get her with the kids. I don't know. I thought her and the kids' interactions were my favorite parts. So that's interesting that somebody really didn't like them. I don't know. I'm not going to read the rest of it because she goes really in depth. But this next person. Okay, that was stressful. Really wanted to like and hype this book up. I've seen fellow readers gush about this one, and I wanted that reaction, that effect. However, after a few chapters, it just did not resonate with me. Felt bad for Beatrice. It was depressing to be in her head to see how she felt. She hit rock bottom. That cafe scene really broke my heart because it happens in real life. Some people lack emotional intelligence to choose to ignore someone suffering rather than help them out. Got a little real there. The idea of being captive in a remote location and being forced to take care of abducted children is a nightmare. One particular scene involving a child, although heavy, was completely necessary. Okay, so why are we? So this one ends and it says a lot of people would enjoy this book. Too bad it did not work for me. So I'm not really understanding why she doesn't like it, because she's saying nice things about it. She doesn't actually say what's wrong about it. Interesting. I don't know. So this next person's, it says that nobody can tell me this book isn't captive fetish content. And I disagree. I don't think it is, especially because, like I said, there is a romance in it, but it's not it's not the captor that she's having a relationship or like having a thing with. Also, not really even a real thing. I don't know. Whatever. Oh no, this next person is just no. It just says no. Okay, sorry. Wow, that's a lot. This person says, genuinely so bad. I wish I had the ability to DNF a book. This was a painful read. No, not really. I really enjoyed it, guys. Like, these are getting me. This one I really don't agree with. It says tone was so unserious for such a serious topic. I don't agree with that. I think maybe Beatrice, because you're in her head, right? So I think maybe to keep herself sane, she kind of, I have a pen in my hand, sorry. She kind of maybe tried to make light of certain situations, but I think that would be any person in her situation. I don't know. I've never been in it, but I don't think it was a light tone at all. I think maybe there were moments where she was trying to make light of things, but that doesn't change the whole tone of the book. Someone said worst way to start 2026. Painful. Again, guys, okay, so for a perspective, it is a newer book. I read it as an ARC last year, but it has 3,000. No. I'm so sorry. It has over 25,000 ratings. Most of them are between 5 and 4 stars. The 1-star rating has less than 1%. So on average, it's a really good book. And these comments are making me really sad. They're not even funny. They're just sad. I didn't even get to laugh. Well, other than the straight no one that gave me a chuckle, but other ones are not even that funny. They just make me sad. All right. For the next one, I know this is an unpopular opinion. All right, wait. So it's from the Throne of Glass series, but it's my favorite in the Throne of Glass series. And I know that this being the favorite of the series is an unpopular opinion, because I think actually, maybe I'm wrong, but a lot of people I've talked to, this is their least favorite. And it's Heir of Fire. And I love Heir of Fire. I'll give you a little backstory without giving too much away if you haven't read the Throne of Glass series. I loved Rowan's entrance into the series. I loved that he messed with her. I loved that their first meeting was punching her in the face. I loved him. In this book, Rowan was my favorite character of the series. And then after this book, he dropped off for me. He got too, like, he stopped telling her what she needed to hear and just became like obsessed. She needed somebody like Rowan in Heir of Fire. And, the series worked out the way it did. So who am I to say? But I just think that I really liked Rowan and his anger in this book. Maybe that doesn't say a lot about me, but I liked it. So I don't know. So it has over 1 million views. It has over 1.5 million. And it only has a little over 5,000 1-stars. So it's less than 1%. So let's see. This first one. Reasons why I don't like this book. Oh, she gives a list of why. Let's read it. I'm so excited. It was dull as dirt. I disagree. It was way too long. For this series, I mean, I don't think it was any longer than obviously Kingdom of Ash is like, it's almost 1,000 pages. So this was nothing compared to that. And I thought it paced well for what it was. So I don't know. I was so tired of the angst, no matter how justified it was. Rowan is overrated. There, I said it. And I agree with that in the rest of the series. But in this one, I genuinely really liked him. I fell asleep. Oh no. I fell asleep listening to the audiobook more than 15 times, 7 alone for the last 10%. Okay, that's rough. 15 times? Why'd you keep trying at that point? Like, geez. Okay, the chapters with the witches felt so pointless. By the way, King outlawed magic, but witches are okay. The fuck? Oh, well, I don't care. So I also was confused about the witches in this one. I didn't think they were necessarily pointless. I didn't really get them, if that makes sense. At the time, I liked Manon, though. I do get the plot hole, if you will, of magic was banned, so what are witches doing? But I guess, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like each book follows the same plot. Selena trains, Selena fights with cute guy, mysterious monsters killing people, Selena kills monster, Finn. I guess, kind of. I mean, I would say this book is the last to follow that. So I guess it just depends on how far you make it in the series. First couple, though, kind of it. Kind of hit the nail on the head with that one. But I wager I like the earlier parts of the series better than the later parts, but I won't say anything. Also, you guys know I love a good GIF or whatever the hell they are in these. And it's just Pinocchio face down in the river. Oh, this one it says massively spoilery, so I won't do it. Wow, this person DNF'd at 25%. Let's read it. That takes some emotions. I feel like especially for an SJM book, like that takes some emotion. DNF, 25%. I quit. I fucking quit. I'm done. Seriously, I tried. God knows I tried, but I just can't anymore. I'm not normally in the unpopular opinion side, but these books are, just no. I really don't give a fuck about Selena, Aelin, whatever the fuck her name is, much less about Cole or that dude Rowan. The only one I really care about is my precious cinnamon roll Dorian, and he's the one who doesn't get a lot of attention, so I'm done. Bye forever, Throne of Glass. # sorry, not sorry. I don't know, this person, I hope that maybe you came back because Dorian does get a lot of attention later in the series and it was amazing and I loved it for him. I also didn't care about Cole at this point in the series for a long time. Like I said, Rowan was my favorite in this book. Let's see. That was a long one. I don't want to. DNF at page 431. How long is it? That's got to be like really far into it at that point. They said, God, I cannot be bothered with this book anymore. I need to stop reading Sarah J. Maas and just accept that she'll never be for me. Wow, that's so sad because Sarah J. Maas is my only personality trait. There is so much telling instead of showing, and the characters are way too entitled to find this pleasurable reading experience. I envy the people who found enjoyment in the series. So I will say that this series, out of all 3 of hers, was my least favorite. But I'm pretty sure she wrote the first Throne of Glass at like 16. So cut her some slack. It is my least favorite. Characters are way too entitled. I did find these characters to be the hardest to also like really get behind. Selena took me a long time to get behind. Like I said, I really liked Rowan here. And then in the next books, he dropped off for me. I liked Cole for a little bit and then he dropped off for me. Dorian at the beginning, I was just like meh about. But by the end, I adored him. Another person who's just saying SJM might not be for them. They said, I saw some people say the second book is the best. Then I saw people saying, no, it's totally the third book where the series actually becomes readable. I'm not going to lie here. I don't think SJM's books are for me, like, at all. I don't know. It's like my whole personality. I don't even know what to say to that kind of comment. It is all that's left of me, guys. Not so much for us, but like Agatar and Crescent City, kind of all that's left for me. I don't know. Whoa, this one, it keeps going. For like a very long time. That was a really long review. This person, 1 star. I don't know. I just hate Rowan. Yikes. I love Rowan. All right, let's leave it on that. That one got me a little bit more. The next one, I tried to mix it up. I don't really remember like if I did a good mix of genres last time, but I tried to do some more genres. So I started with a thriller, Air of Fire, fan romantasy, I guess technically, and now I'm doing just a straight romance. And it is, I also read this as an arc. It's And Now Back to You by B.K. Borison. The first one was First Time Caller. I loved both of them, got 5 stars for me. I loved them. I just thought they were so freaking cute. I loved Jackson. So this book centers around Jackson. I loved him. I loved him in the first one too. I was like, oh, I can't wait to, he's so cute and like nerdy. I couldn't wait to hear more about him. So I was so excited for this one. Okay, so interesting. Now that I'm looking at the very first review, I'm a little upset about it. It hurt my feelings. It says, at this point, it seems to me that Borison is unable to write an MMC, main male character, for anybody who just like casually listens and reads, unable to write an MMC that isn't a literal piece of shit, or at the very least not annoying. It just got done saying. Here, I'm going to keep going. Jackson is the culmination of every single trait you're told to run away from. He's misogynistic, sexist as hell, and hypocritical as fuck. I was disturbed. This can't possibly be the man the author is expecting me to root for. I didn't find him to be any of those things. Guys, am I just not good at red flags? I'm learning something about myself. I also don't agree. Okay, so wait. There is something here that I'm going to read this paragraph. There is something here I will touch on. The book also has far too many plot lines going on that weren't handled with the care needed, or were just left halfway. The author tried to fit in Alzheimer's, absent parent, and a professional misogyny plot line into the 300-page book, and it was a total dumpster fire. The only one I wish we kind of had more on, I disagree with all of the other ones, is the Alzheimer's. That's the only one that I it's the hardest one. I don't know. It's hard for, I have to remember that the reason people write is like, you want it to feel, especially like a romance, like you want it to feel realistic, whatever. And maybe Delilah just wasn't ready to open up to Jackson about it. And I think that's fair. So like we got snippets of it, but I think that speaks true to real life. Like you wouldn't just pour out everything on, this person that you're just kind of getting to know. I do think the absent parent and professional misogyny was done pretty well. So I don't know. I can't really relate to that. Not even the relationship between the main characters was good in this mess of a book. Not only was the reason for the rivalry, that's a lot of R's and L's, guys. Their rivalry completely ridiculous and plain stupid. The transition from rivals to lovers was so terribly done. I checked out of the book at that point. I mean, I think the point was that it was stupid. Like it was not, it was truly supposed to be like they just didn't understand each other type of thing. And that's why they didn't like each other. I think that was the point. So maybe it's just not for you, but like I think the point was for to once they got to know each other to be like, wow, that was stupid. Wow, that hurts my heart. I love Jackson so much. Interesting. Somebody said this can't possibly be the same author who wrote First Time Caller. I don't know. Let's see. So again, I mean, obviously I'm not going to agree with any of them, guys. This person said, God, I hated this book. I'm so tired of reading quirky, manic, pixie wannabe girls whose entire charm come from falling down and tripping over air every 3 seconds. Yawn. Don't get the manic pixie thing. I kind of related to Delilah, so maybe that's why I'm like a little personally hurt by that. I don't know. I don't find her like quirky in a bad way. She's just like herself, and I think that's great. But whatever. I don't know. I don't know how to react to that because I really like Delilah, actually. I like Delilah and Jackson. But apparently I don't know how to find red flags, guys. So I don't really know. Also hated the romance in this book. Felt very insta-love. No tension, just boring. Tell me what you want. No, you tell me what you want every 2 pages. Again, I think this goes back to the type of rivalry they had was like, I think they both found each other attractive, but they were like, they just bumped heads. Like they didn't even really have any real interactions. Like it was a very superficial rivalry. And I think it's like based on like I don't know. Maybe that's not true. I don't know. I did like the romance though. I mean, the whole one bed thing, that's never, I love it in a romantasy, but like in real life, I feel like it's a harder one to get behind. I mean, it's a fiction book, but like in a more realistic book. I didn't get insta love. I think maybe insta friendship, if that's a thing. They warmed up to each other pretty quickly, but they definitely both tried to fight off the love for a while. See, she even says it here. Like, it's basically like she asks, or the issue why he has a problem with her is because everybody loves her. And they're both weather people. She does the TV and he does the radio. And I get that it's like a jealousy thing. Like he has this enemy's idea of her, or an enemy idea of her, because everybody loves her and he's doing the same thing, and he doesn't get the reaction because he doesn't know, he's not like a people person. So he's jealous because he doesn't have that. You know what I mean? I don't know. That might also be a red flag. I don't know, guys. Maybe I just ignore red flags. That could be true. I don't know. This person says, the title suggests running toward each other. I recommend the opposite for these characters. I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, I really liked it. And I like these characters. That's what's getting me. Like, when I went this book, I really didn't think it'd be about the characters. Like, I kind of expected for Airfire people to hate on Selena and Rowan. I did not expect people to hate on Delilah and Jackson, though. This person wishes they could give it negative stars. DNF had 75%. That's, once I make it that far in a book, like, I'm going to finish that fucking book at that point. They said they didn't feel any chemistry. If I had to read about the placement of his glasses one more time. I don't remember anything about his glasses. Wow, people are saying, like, this one says lack of chemistry again. Wow. That's crazy. I really didn't expect that. I thought they had good chemistry, and I really liked the characters. So I'm shocked that those were like what most people were upset over. Next, I don't think I had done a Frida McFadden one before. And not that this is my favorite because of Frida. Not that this is my favorite Frida. It's just the most recent one I read. So that's why I picked it. But The Inmate, I think I gave it 5 stars. It was like a really easy, no, I gave it 4. See, that's why I say like 5 or close to 5 stars or highly rated. I gave it 4. I listened to my audiobooks on like 2.25 speed, and I was driving home from Becca's, actually, which is a few hours, and I needed a book. So I put this one on and I finished it from her place to my place. So it was good. Like I didn't want to turn it off, you know, like I finished it in one car ride. It did get 4 stars. Like I said, it's a Frida book. It's good, but it wasn't my favorite. I would say Housemaid's probably my favorite. Maybe The Teacher. That one, just those twists at the end got me. All right, let's see what this person says. 1 star. The plot, weak. The protagonist, dumb. The writing reads like a YA. Interesting. They said it started out okay. I had high hopes. It was good until Brooke started using her brain all the time. This book would 100% be better if she doesn't think too much, so she doesn't confuse everyone. Even she manages to confuse herself, if you can believe it. All the maybe he isn't, maybe I should be, maybe I should just, I can't. Brooke, why are you doing this to yourself? Again, I think that's like a really real trait that the author is trying to include. Like, you're going back and forth. And especially, again, I don't want to give anything away about this book or the plot, but I don't know. I think I got, again, like, it seems like people don't like being in the character's head, at least from this sitting of reading these right now. And I find that I really like being in the character's heads. I like knowing their inner thoughts, but I expect them not to be straightforward. Like, they're thinking, they're going through the process, right? No. So maybe that's just me, or people don't like being in their heads. They like a more like third party telling a story. I don't know. This one's long and it has a lot of spoilers, but I'll just say the first little paragraph. I wanted to like this book and it had me in the first half. That's the only reason it got a star instead of me just deleting it from my memory entirely. But damn, did it get unreasonable quick. First of all, the idea that so many people can be accused of this one crime before someone starts questioning Brooke's sanity is laughable. I did kind of agree with that. She was real wishy-washy on this, and I get that. Like, somebody who experiences trauma, like their story might get messy. It was a lot before anybody questioned her, though. It was a lot. Somebody else said this was just weak, a very loose plot, too many coincidences, a dumb protagonist. This whole book would have not existed if Brooke just used 2 of her brain cells. That's so funny because 1 or 2 ago they said that she used too many brain cells. Okay, this is funny though, because again, something I thought about. How do the police work in that town? Do they just keep relying on whatever Brooke tells them? They haven't thought of investigating any of the murders further. But I thought that too. I'm like, so they're literally just relying on her. Like, they just want her point of view. They're not gonna try anything else. Like, they're not gonna get any other tests or anything. I agree. I did think that was crazy. I guess I kind of agree with this one. They said I never thought it was possible for a thriller book to be corny until this. And it was, again, it's not Frida's best, but I still found it interesting. It took a lot of twists and turns, as a Frida does. No, I don't even know if I should say this, but it's so funny. Obviously 1 star. They said, this book is my 13th reason. I kind of want to see what people commented on that, actually. I never really get the comments. Somebody said, this is a darkly hilarious review, and I agree with that. And 2 other people just put, like, the laughing emoji face. And if you don't know, no, look up 13 Reasons Why if you don't know. Somebody wrote, I felt like an inmate reading this. So I don't know what that means, but maybe you were held captive by it. I don't know. So again, it wasn't like my favorite Frida ever. I thought it was interesting enough. The 13th reason got me. It got me. Yeah, I just, like I said, I'd be interested. I kind of want to read the 5 stars. No, we'll save that for another day. We'll save it. Also, guys, did you know that Frida McFadden just said her name is not Frida McFadden? Was I the only one who thought it was? I mean, I guess people don't say they're writing under a surname, but like, am I the only one who assumed that it wasn't a surname? I don't know. I guess I just picture surnames like that. I just picture surnames like back in the day. Like Mary Shelley wrote, her books under a surname because females couldn't write back then. Or like, I think of like Silver Elite, even like in a modern one to say Silver Elite, they don't show their face anywhere, right? And Mary Shelley, obviously, book tours weren't a thing back then. So like, I think of it as people who aren't doing book tours or aren't putting their face with the book. But like Frida McFadden does do book tours and like her pictures on the book. So like, I guess I just didn't see it coming that there was a surname that she was writing under like a pen name. Not a surname. A surname's a last name, you idiot. That she was writing under a pen name is just, maybe that's part of her thing though. She's always got a twist. That was a twist. That was a real life twist that she was writing under a pen name. Okay. This next one. I hesitated to even put in this episode. I think it's a good one to put in though, because I ended up rating it 4 stars. I'm going to tell you what it is first. I always do that. It's Andrew's laughed at me in the hallway. It's Quicksilver by Callie. Oh no, I forget her name. Callie Hart. Quicksilver by Callie Hart. I really wanted to like it more than I did. Becca DNF'd. I rated it 4 stars. I think that was nice of me though. I must have been in a good mood that day. It would probably be like a 3. But I want to read the 1 stars because I'm interested. I would say a 3 is still not a bad rating though, right? Like we could put it in like a good rating episode, right? I really wanted to like this book more. Like the hype that it has, I really wanted to like it. Again, I gave it a 4. Probably deserved a 3, but I gave it a 4. So it's still like a highly rated one by me. I really liked the characters. That's what kept me going. I really liked Kingfisher. I would not put him I think some people put him up there with like Hunt and Cassian, and he's not up there for me. I just thought his backstory was interesting. I didn't really find him like a Cassian, you know what I mean? So that's why I kept going, but I don't know. So I'm interested to see some of the 1 stars just out of curiosity, like what other people said. Okay, this person DNF'd at 32%. I don't know what that means. They put FRTC. FRTC. It said DNF at 32%. FRTC. I'm going to look that up. Full review to come. That makes sense, I guess. Okay, so I've been hearing about this book nonstop in many of my book groups. High praise for it. The first few chapters, the writing though, will likely trash this book in my review. I don't know. Still working on this one. I wasn't even done. Okay. No, but okay. I'm okay. This one's dramatic, but like I get the mindset behind it. Ready? I'm convinced everyone is being held at gunpoint rating this 5 stars. And I didn't hate the book, but I also think like the amount of hype it has, like I don't get that, So like what is everybody seeing that I'm not seeing for this one? Like I did really enjoy it. I think that one is like a little bit dramatic, I'm not going to lie, but I get the idea behind it. And this next person, I feel so bad for all talented fantasy authors because how is this popular? The dialogue and writing is so derogatory millennial. Okay, well, I'm a millennial, so I don't like that much. But I mean, she didn't shame fantasy. Like that's a little bit harsh. Again, I liked the characters. I think the best way I could say it is I liked the idea and not as much the execution. Like it felt way longer than it had to be. That's like a big one for me. It felt really long. But again, it was good. Like I enjoyed it. DNF at 30%. Another viral book talk book doesn't live up to the hype for me. Shock. This is a way to describe it. It's not me, guys. This person I'm continuing their review. And it says, if you're happy with fantasy on Ozempic, not getting the full picture with detail, but heavy on romance, you might like this. The fantasy on Ozempic, that one caught my eye. But like, again, maybe this one's not fair because I kind of get why these people don't like this one. Sorry. This is the age of romance authors dabbling in fantasy and romance readers 4 out of 5 starring them. What is wrong with that? That's kind of me. Well, no. I'm not strictly a romance reader, but I did 4 out of 5 star this because it gives us shit like this book. I'm judging everyone who this Please okay, let me read this. I feel judged. I'm judging everyone who liked this book. Please unfriend me immediately. Again, like, it's hard because I liked it. That is like passion, though. That's passionate. A couple friends in our book club like really enjoyed this. In fact, Maddie, who's been on an episode with the Oddbird grand opening, said that this got her out of her slump after reading ACOTAR. Like, she had not felt about a book the way she did about ACOTAR until reading this. And I want to feel that way. It's not horrible. It's just not for me, I think, maybe. I'm probably still going to read Brimstone, though, guys. I don't know. Is that a bad idea? Tell me now. Should I not read Brimstone? Because I've also heard Brimstone's not even as good as Quicksilver. So maybe I should just leave it. I don't know. This is terrible. There's no way anyone with a developed prefrontal cortex can enjoy this unless you're into dumb dialogues and even dumber MCs. Damn, people get vicious in their reviews. Wow. People get really mean. Like, really mean. And I don't know how to feel about that. I don't like meanness, guys. That's like a lot. Like, you think people can't have a developed prefrontal cortex and also enjoy this book? That feels so aggressive. Somebody called it Timu Agatar. I get it. Andrew's never read any of these books, guys, and he's downstairs laughing because he can hear me. And he liked that one. He just knows I'm obsessed with Agatar, though. Made it 25%. I just can't do it. This was underwhelming. If you've read any romantasy book in the past 2 years, you've already read this one. Yes and no. Like, there were some interesting twists. The ending, I think, was interesting. I don't know. The Timu Agatar really got me because I kind of see that. If your name is Kingfisher, I'm seeing you like this. Oh, no, what is it? It's literally a fish with a crown on its head. Fair. A Kingfisher is an interesting name. And I do think I've heard it somewhere else. Probably another book. But it is an interesting name to go with. Yeah, I do remember thinking that. Like, I remember seeing it on like Instagram and everything. And I was like, that can't be his name. Like, that's like his title, right? Like, he's like a fisherman, but also a king. Like, that can't really be his name. But no, it was his name. Just for funsies, let's read Agatar's. Like, the very first one. I definitely read A Court of Mist and Fury because that one was my favorite. But let's just read some of the ACOTAR ones. I feel like that's a good one because I keep saying that it's my whole personality. These will probably also hurt my feelings. But let's give it a go. It has over 4 million ratings, which is absurd. Absurd. I mean, amazing. I'm glad that many people have read it, but like, absurd. All right, ready? It starts with ACOTAR. I'm just getting ready for my feelings to be really hurt. Because, like, even Becca didn't like this book. Oh, no, somebody made a whole drinking game. Oh, no, ready? That means it's repetitive, right? Isn't that what drinking game means? All right, it says, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ACOTAR drinking game. What you need: a copy of ACOTAR, an alcohol beverage of your choice, one or more friends to play this with. Seriously, don't do this alone. That's what it said. How it works: drink every time you read these words. I already feel my feelings being hurt. A shiver went down my spine. My knees buckled. In a heartbeat/a heartbeat later. I would never be able to paint it. She did say that one a lot. Male, female. Okay, well, they're not people, so they had to call them something. Smirk, snarl, prowl, purr. Okay. Take a shot every time Tamlin or Rhysand's overwhelming sexiness is mentioned. The word claim is used in connection to sex. Feyre uses ableist slurs or blames her dad for being disabled. Okay, I wasn't gonna come for this one. It's not that she blamed him for being disabled. It's that he gave up trying, okay? It's not that he was disabled. He could have probably done a lot of things. But he stopped trying. He stopped trying to take care of his 3 daughters and let the youngest out of all of them go fucking hunt for them, okay? Okay, she wasn't being ableist. She's allowed to be angry at her dad. Okay, bonus. Finish your drink when Feyre is harassed by Tamlin or Rhysand, but in a sexy way, so it's okay. Okay. Feyre complains about how difficult that ridiculous riddle is. Okay, so the riddle did get me. I knew it so quickly. I was like, this bitch could save everybody. It was longer than 3 days, but like 3, however long that took to get through the trials. The fucking riddle. It was so easy. No offense if you didn't get it. Feyre, come on. This is it. This is the stupidest book I've ever read. That's it. That's the whole review. That's it. This one's so ready. I'm a second away from dousing myself in gasoline and lighting myself on fire just so I never have to look at this book again. This whole series. No, somebody just put the sick emoji. That's their whole That's the whole review. Interesting. Okay, so their review says, this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. This also happens to be my first experience of a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and it left me disappointed. I believe that Beauty and the Beast shows that love is not superficial. Love is being attracted to and caring for somebody, not in spite of their flaws, but with their flaws. ACOTAR failed to show that. Feyre didn't seem to care one bit about Tamlin's personality. All she cared about was what he looked like underneath the mask. She was pining to look at his high cheekbones and arched eyebrows the whole time, which fails to portray the essence of Beauty and the Beast. No, I disagree. I think she did like a lot about him. Let's not forget, there was a lot not to like about Tamlin, which we can see now, or I can, I guess. Lots of red flags with that man. Also, am a nosy bitch and would want to know what the rest of their face looked like. That being said, it wouldn't change my opinion about somebody, but like, I am nosy. Like, I would just need to know. And then she kept saying she wanted to paint him, whatever. She wants, like, as an artist, she wants to see his whole face, She wants to look at him as, like, an entire being. She wasn't saying that's the only reason she had feelings for him. She could recognize he was handsome the second they met. She hated him for a while. So you're wrong. Just saying, if that's what you think. I do think I think it is like kind of a Beauty and the Beast retell, but I think it's very loose. Like, I mean, Beauty couldn't read. So it's not that close, related. Calm down. That's all I'm going to make it through for ACOTAR, guys. Those ones, I think what I'm learning is the more I like the book, the harder to read the 1 stars. Yeah, those ones, those really hurt. Those ACOTAR ones really hurt my soul. Again, it's pretty much all that's left of my personality. I will defend the first book until I die. I know it's an unpopular opinion. I know people think that it really gets good in the second one. I loved the first one. Loved it. I read it in 24 hours. I also read Mist and Fury in 24 hours. I think I read them all in 24 hours. Maybe not Silver Flames, but the other ones I think I did. So that was fun and emotionally damaging. I hope you enjoyed it. Next week, we will be back. We actually are interviewing an author on Friday. I know we also still have to continue the episode of like our 1 year looking back at some of our bigger episodes, bigger in quotes, but it's okay. So we have an author we're interviewing an author on Friday. We have to go back to that other one that I just said. So yeah, we have like a lot planned. We have a lot of good stuff coming. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you went back after hearing me talk about it and listen to the James Steyer episode. I hope that you come back next week. If you do like it, you can find us on Instagram and TikTok. If you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff wherever you're listening. And with that, stay cunning, stay brave, and remember, you are your own high lady. Bye, guys.